If you're like me and you're always wondering, how can I boost my energy? How can I show up with more joy and have more peace in my life? Then listen up, because on today's episode, we're talking about 3 things that I recommend you examine in your life if you do want to have more energy, if you do want to have more peace and joy. So before we dive into those 3 things that, spoiler alert, are related to the 6 energetic influencers, there's these energetic influencers, things in our life that affect our energy, where we're focusing on one area today and 3 things in that one area. I'll get to it in just a moment. But before we get to that, I want to just say thank you so much for listening to the show. For all of you who have left podcast reviews, it means so much. It does help the show grow. If you haven't done so, please do so. You can do it on Apple Podcasts. Scroll to the bottom, find the stars, and you have to hit write a review. That's if you're on Apple. If you're on Spotify, you can just simply click the stars, and that really helps the show grow. And this reminds me of something that I've been doing recently. If you follow me on Instagram at Ange Barnard, I occasionally get on Instagram. Not a lot, but I do get on there sometimes. And what I've been doing recently is sharing highlighter posts. And what I mean by that is each day I'm sharing a video where I'm highlighting something that I think is awesome in the world. Something I like, the goodness in others. I'm just showing up and being a highlighter versus what I call a red ink penner. So many of us are showing up that way. Like we're red ink penning, all kinds of things. You know, people like this. It's like, let's point out what's wrong. Let's talk about the things we don't like. And what you're doing unintentionally is you're generating more of that energy into the world. And none of us listening to the show want to do that. We want to be generating more of that uplifting energy into the world. So we got to be intentional about it. So the way that I see it as I'm a human highlighter. I'm just going around highlighting the goodness, putting that energy out there, and more of that comes back to me. I'm on that channel. So that's a commitment that I've been making. This is also related to a quote that I share in my TEDx talk that has not been released yet at the time of this recording. You can always Google it if you're listening to it in the future. Maybe it's out by then. But in the TED Talk, I share at the end one of my favorite quotes that I made up, and it's this: in a world filled with red ink pens, be the highlighter. So that's what I'm doing. So what I'm saying is, in one of these posts, I shared this message about, the whole concept in the Bible that talks about how you have not because you ask not, ask and you shall receive, that concept. Well, I really feel like a lot of the things that we desire in our life, we got to ask for. It's like you're asking God for it via maybe your vision board that you're putting out there. I see that as a form of prayer. Or you're actually having that conversation and saying like, these are desires of my heart, and you're asking and praying about it. Or you're actually asking other people for the things that you desire. Because I think a lot of us aren't doing that. We aren't putting ourselves out there. We aren't asking for the things that we want. We're not communicating that. We're not putting our offers out or whatever it is because of fear. And I want to say now is the time to ask. That's why I'm asking you, if you haven't wrote a podcast review, to write one. Okay. But I want you to be thinking about for yourself, what are you not asking for? Maybe it's like you're not asking God for it, or you're not asking X person for the opportunity, or you're not putting the offer out there. You're not making it known. You got to make your desires known. You want other people to show up and give it to you. You got to ask them. You got to make it clear. So I just want you to think about that before we get into the episode today. All right. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about 3 things to examine for more energy, for more peace, for more joy. Now, the energetic influencer, there's 6 of them. These are things that affect your energy in your life. The 6 of them are spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, environmental, and social. Those are the 6 energetic influencers. And I'm not going to break them all down right now, but I want to zoom in on one specific one, and that's environmental. Your environment affects your energy. You know that. So that means when you have a space that is crazy cluttered, hot mess express, you know that affects your energy. And for most of us, it's not in a positive way. It can really drain you and bring you down. And research even shows that for people. So that's something to think about. And that's the area we're going to zoom in on. And there's 3 things that I want to specifically focus on. And this is inspired by one of my speaking mentors, Lisa Nichols, who I absolutely love. And she had done a whole video about this. And it just really got me thinking about how I want to add my 2 cents to what she had already put out in her thought leadership, where she was talking about zooming into these areas. So the areas that are environmental that she said to focus on, we're going to talk about each of them. But your workspace, like where do you spend the majority of your time working? And then your home space in general. And then your car space or your vehicle space. And I know some of these might not apply to all of us, but those are the 3 that I want to zoom in on. So let's start off with your workspace. So this is the space where you are producing work. Okay. So what is this space like? Because if this space is cluttered, if it's not inspirational to you, that's going to affect your energy. And if that's bringing your energy down, that means you're showing up and creating things from a low energy place. And it really matters. So I was thinking about this with my own workspace, asking myself, is it cluttered? Is it organized? Is it inspiring? Do I feel comfortable in it? Those were some of the questions I was asking myself. What does it smell like? What are the sounds? Those are things to consider. And what do you actually want it to be like? What's your vision for that space? Because I think sometimes we just leave a space the way it is because we're like, oh, I'll just deal with it. I can work in this like mess or with this old raggedy furniture or whatever it is that you have, but it doesn't make you feel good. Something shifts. It's kind of like, you notice how when people wear cute workout clothes, they like want to work out more. It just reminds me of that concept. It's like when my office space is organized, or it's inspiring, like the things that I bring into my space to add the inspiration are, I love plants. I just love the energy that plants bring. So putting that in my space. I just got a new oil infuser and I've been infusing the oils, and it just makes my space smell nice. I try to do the orange one in the morning. If I want to relax, I'll put it in the lavender. Candles when I just want to have a chill vibe in here. And I also was zooming in on how comfortable I am in the space. So like I had a chair that was really uncomfortable for me. So what I've been doing now is sitting on a yoga ball. And that's what I'm recording actually this podcast on right now. And I've been working off of this yoga ball and it just feels really comfortable. I like bouncing around in it and it's just shifted my energy. So those are some of the things I thought about in my space. I thought about seeing my goals, having my vision board right in front of me in my space. Those are inspirational things to me. So I have my big calendar that shows like the events and things that are coming up that we've prioritized on our life resume. That's big in my office, staring at me, reminding me to prioritize those things. I look at my vision board. It's right next to my hand right now. It's on my desk. It's regularly in my view to inspire me. And I cleared out all of the clutter. I vacuumed. Now I feel like I want to be in the space. So I want you to think about what your workspace is like. What do you need to do so that when you're in that space, it shifts your energy up? Is there some cleaning, some organizing that you need to do? Even think about your freaking desktop. Let's talk about it. Sometimes my desktop looks like Hot Mess Express. Like I'll open up my computer and it's like files everywhere and it just immediately shifts me into overwhelm. That affects my energy. That's an energetic influencer. So thinking about this, like those kinds of things, anytime you look at something in your environment and you feel that shift down in energy, that is telling you that you got to do something about that. Because you do not want your energy always affected by something that's in your control that you can shift around, right? So I want you to think about your workspace. Now let's zoom in to, let's really zoom into this. Asking yourself, is it comfortable for you? If it's not, what can make it more comfortable? Is there certain smells that you want to have in it? How can you bring in those scents? How can you bring in those sounds? Like for me, I shift my desk so that the light is facing me. I can look out the window. The sounds, like I open up the door that is next to my office because I can hear like the birds. I have a playlist on Spotify, a journaling one. When I'm in here, I'm just trying to be in the zone and it's just instrumental music. So there's nothing distracting. Like maybe there's something like that you need for sound wise that helps you be more productive and get your energy up. Is there, even snacks that you want to have while you're working? Like, do you have a cute way of displaying those snacks for you? Like, I've been thinking about this. Like, I've seen these videos on Instagram where people show a beautiful refrigerator, like perfectly organized. They have like their own salad bar in the refrigerator. They open up the drawers and there's like compartments for all that. I'm like, I want that in my life, but I just think like, how can we start small? Maybe there's like a cute little charcuterie board, personalized one I can set up for myself, cute snacks I can have that I can get while I am working. Like these are things that affect my energy. There's stuff that you can be doing that affect your energy so you're more productive from an inspirational place because of your work environment and how you've intentionally set up your work environment. Something to think about. All right, maybe you got to start ordering some stuff on Amazon. I don't know because I just did. I ordered the oil infuser for in here because I didn't have one. I ordered specific scents. Maybe there's a little cute charcuterie setup thing that you can have for yourself. I'm talking about even what you put your water in. You know how when you have a nice water bottle, inspires you to drink more with a straw? That kind of stuff I'm talking about because this stuff does affect your energy. Is there a different kind of plant? There's so much to think about. We could have a lot of fun with this. All right, let's move into our next space. We're talking about, let's go with our home. So in your home, really think about this. After a work day or whatever you spend the majority of your day doing, does your home actually trigger peace for you and joy? Or does it trigger more stress and overwhelm for you, the way that it's set up? And if it's triggering those lower energy feelings for you, time to do something about it. Or even if you're like, yeah, I feel some peace in there, but I feel like I could take it to the next level because I feel like you totally can. We can always be improving stuff. Just something to think about. So like for me, some of the things that I've noticed is like we still had furniture from that was given to us that we've had for years and it just isn't as comfortable. And that got me thinking about like, well, how can I make it more comfortable? And it's worth it to me because it affects my energy. If I sit down and something isn't comfortable or it's janky or whatever it is, it brings my energy down. So I literally have boxes I'm staring at right now outside my door of a new couch that we had ordered. That's like in boxes outside ready to be put together in our house because I looked at my home environment and was like, this ain't working for my energy anymore. The way that this is set up. It might be like, even I want to replace some of our table chairs because when you sit down on them, they creak. And it scares my fat cat, Steve, galore. And it's really funny because Ian will sit down and eat breakfast and it like makes this loud creaky noise and Steve runs and we laugh about it like every single day. But so that part does bring me joy. I mean, it's funny. Like I don't want to scare him, but it is funny how he responds to it. So what we are planning on doing though is replacing that chair. Like I want to because it is just janky. And just sometimes we have things that bring our energy down. So maybe you do have something in your space again, is that's affecting your energy. Or you just pick it up and you're not inspired by it. The cup looks nasty and it's old and it just brings you down. The underwear is all holy and it doesn't make you feel your best. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. There's things in our home environment. I just got a new quilt for my bed because I wanted this like Zen luxurious kind of like vibe, and that's part of my vision board this year is to be a Zen home owner. And I feel like with my bathroom remodel, it looks like I feel like a Mediterranean spa vibe with the baby's room being all zenned out. You can see I just posted a video on this on Instagram, a little tutorial. I'm gonna do a better tutorial so you can see it all. But yeah, it's like it's switched into this Zen feeling around it. So then I thought, well, to match that, I want to get a new quilt. My husband's like, do we really need more blankets? I'm like, yeah, because I want the ones that make me feel this higher energy. And I'm okay with getting rid of the old stuff because I want to feel differently. I noticed a difference. It's like when I get ready for the day kind of feeling. Like I always say I'm a different person in my sweatpants than I am when I actually like, let's say throw a blazer on or something like I actually like wearing that I think is cute. I feel different in those settings. My energy shifts. So I want you to think about that when it comes to your home environment. What would help elevate the energy there for you? Because think about what's already bringing it down. And sometimes people will say, it's like, it's the mess that my kids are creating or whoever is creating in the space that affects my energy. Okay, if that is the case, then what can we do to try to reduce those messes? I know that someone that I love started having their children do like these actual chores, and they had a whole list of things they were responsible for because they were like, I'm not doing this anymore on my own. Like, I need to get my energy up, and there's things that you can be doing that help bring peace to my life when you're picking up after yourself, or at least you're putting your plate away or your toys, or like I'm teaching my little guy will know how to put his toys away right away because I'm betraying him to learn how to do that because I don't want it to affect my energy so much. Like, I'm open to life. Like, yeah, there's going to be messes, but there's things that we can control that impact our energy. So why not try to bring intentionality there? And control it in the ways that you can so that it works out well for you, that it does help have a positive impact on your energy. Okay, so let's see here. So is there anything that you need to replace in your home that's janky or just bringing your energy down? Let's think about what we want to replace that with. What are your essentials, like essential things you want to have in your home environment? Like, do you like to have color? Does that bring joy to you? Nature, like that's a big part of my home environment is like, there's lots of like wood pieces. There's lots of plants. I like that vibe. I want to like have the light shining in. I want to have nature type smells. Cozy, the space being cozy, that's important to me. That's why I have like soft blankets, different textures, that kind of stuff. Like, what are your essentials that you want to have in your space? The vibe that you're going for. How can you start to set that up? Because you'll notice a difference in your energy when you start doing this versus just taking things as they are, taking life as it is. I remember even back in the day when I had an office, like I just remember it feeling so stale in there and so uninspiring. And I heard so many other people say that about their office space, but they weren't doing anything to change it. It's like, let's liven this up. Let's bring the air fresheners in. Let's put the plants out. Let's put some cute quotes up, things that inspire us because we have control over this. So thinking about that in your home space. And then also, like, what do you want people to feel like when they walk into your home space? Like, what do you want them to feel like? What do you want to feel like when you walk into the space? So what can help you feel that way? All right, let's look at the next one, which is your car. If you have a car or a truck or whatever vehicle, if you have one. Even if you don't and you rent one or, you take an Uber or Lyft and that's part of your normal life, that kind of stuff, like you still get to decide what you're stepping into. But in your own environment, your vehicle environment, do you feel like it says that you are just tolerating the thing, like in how it is? Or is it more of like, this is the space that you take a lot of pride in? Because it's not just about like having like a very expensive vehicle or anything like that. It's about like, how is that space taken care of? What do you feel when you get in that vehicle? Because some people's vehicles are hot mess express. You get in and it's just like, you don't even like the smell, you don't feel good about what you smell when you first get in. There's stuff all over and it's easy to blame. It's easy to be like, oh, this because of my kids, there's this thing going on. I'm really busy in my life. But then again, you're just giving your power away because you have the power to create a different kind of environment for yourself or set some boundaries where they need to be set. Or get a cute little garbage bin that goes in a certain area that someone takes out every single day or something. There's things that you can do in that space. So I've been thinking about that. Like my cars, even though my car's old, it's vacuumed out. I got a new air freshener. I feel just so much better about it. And we're also going to get a different car here soon with the baby and everything. We're upgrading our lives. But I just noticed that difference of when I even have the space clean in my car because I'm taking that in different places and that affects my energy. If I get into it and it's all like, there's garbage everywhere or it's a hot mess and then I'm just trying to move it to my next place and I'm trying to bring my best self there, my highest energy there, that's really hard to do if I just stepped into a hot mess express vehicle. It affects me. It really does. So I think your environment is always affecting you and you have the power to shift things around. So what I want this episode to do is just to to call you to that next level, to be intentional about these spaces that you are in on a regular basis that do affect your energy. What can you do here? How can you improve those spaces? We're talking about your workspace, your home in general, and your car or your vehicle if you have one. So after listening to this, since you just took the time, commit right now that you're going to make some shifts in those spaces to amp up your energy and bring more peace. Think about it. Think about your vision for that space. What do you want it to be like? And how can you bring it there? Even if you're someone who's on the road a lot, because I've traveled, a lot, I can still create an inspiring environment wherever I am. If I'm working there, I can bring like a candle there. I could bring my essential oils there. I could face the window, right? Even if it's not my normal space. So even if you are, I used to do that when I traveled a lot, and I felt like I lived in hotels. I had all my stuff that came with me to like amp up that environment for me. So you can do it anywhere you are, but if you're regularly in your home, we got to be thinking about this. Workspace, home space, car space, or vehicle space. Let's figure this out. Let's take it to the next level. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you had an awesome day. I will talk to you soon. Bye.